Got girls in the back, Eshe. Boys in the front, dress code, Adley. Went from the goon bags to the champagne. When we step in the club, it's the youngins, Eshe. Everybody say, Eshe, Eshe, Eshe.
It was 2002 when Wayne Carey, one of the AFL's biggest stars and the captain of the North Melbourne Kangaroos, landed himself in one of the biggest AFL controversies ever. Wayne had only been married to his childhood sweetheart, Sally McMahon, for about 16 months when he was at a birthday party with all of his teammates. At that birthday party, he was caught in a toilet with Kelly Stevens. Who is Kelly Stevens, you ask? Just the wife of his best friend and vice captain, Anthony Stevens. Yep, it turns out the team captain
Now, when I think of Sydney, Australia, I don't really think scary stories. Unless, of course, you mean like the scary smile at Luna Park. Oh, and there's another thing about Luna Park. On June 9th, 1979, the Godson family was visiting Sydney, particularly Luna Park. Now, the family comprises of a father and 2 sons. Now, they're on the pier taking photos when they're approached by a stranger. The stranger looks like this. They are clad in a loincloth and wearing some sort of demonic headdress, I guess is the best way you could describe it. And what he does is he approaches 3 members of the family and touches each of them on the shoulder. 4 hours later, the entire family dies as a fire rips through the ghost train at Luna Park. Now, the story doesn't end there. Many Sydney residents claim to have seen this man before disasters, claiming he is an omen of death for all who witness him.
I'm kind of curious, what is the dumbest thing an American has ever said to you?
I lived and worked in LA for 3 years, and there was a girl at my job just doing like a front desk job who was asking me questions about being Australian, and she was like, "So can you speak some Australian for me?" And I was like slang? Yeah, we say things like, oh, struth, bloody oath, bonza, and she's like, okay, so what do those words mean? And I was like, oh, like great and stuff. She's like, so is that like, can you speak Australian though? That sounds like just slang. And I was like, it is slang. She's like, yeah, but can you speak Australian? And I was like, what language do you think we speak? She's like, Australian. How did you learn English? And I was like, do you understand, what?
Hey, when did you realise you were insane? Mine was when I was in preschool, and High Five came along to preschool to record some like B-roll with us, and they put us into 5 random groups, and my group got assigned to Nathan. Nothing against Nathan, but absolutely fucking not. You know what I mean? And so I screamed like a little tiny baby witch until they put me in Charlie's group, obviously. And the shots for that were like we were holding little white rabbits with red eyes, and they couldn't use the footage because I had been crying like a demon, and so my eyes were all red, and I was sat next to Charlie, and she was like, hey, and I was like, like holding this rabbit. Why did I do that?
Excuse my messy car, I just want to tell a story about how I freak my friends out every time I drive. So I drive a manual, low-key flex, big flex. And the reason why is because I want to prove to myself that someone with a disability can drive with no aid. Because I can't afford $8,000 to modify a car every time I get a car. So yeet to that idea. But yeah, I keep telling
2016, a man punched a kangaroo in his face after he grabbed a hold of his dog. Keep in mind, a single kick from a kangaroo can disembowel a human. But did this man care? No, he's Australian, and Australians are born without fear.
Come here, Bonnie. You what? Get off filming, I hear you big. donks, let's go. The other dog's coming.
What's something a teacher has said to you that you will never forget?
Okay, so when I was in year 12, I was a lead role in our school musical. Anyway, after all the shows were done, I was helping our drama teacher put all of the costumes back away into this shed. For some reason, we were looking at some skirts that we had been using for the show. And we're looking at this one skirt, and I don't know the context of why the teacher said this. But she turns to me and she's like, "You have good hips for childbearing." I'm sorry, what? Now, I was not offended because your girl's curvy, we know this. But tell me which grown adult tells a 17-year-old that they have good hips for childbearing. I'm sorry, I was shook. If you guys want more crazy teacher stories, let me know in the comments because I got you.
Guys, I haven't done a story time in a while and you seem to really like them, so here's something that happened today. So I had my maths exam today at school, and recently, I don't know why, I've just been calling everyone like big dog or like big horse or like you're a mad dog. Hey, big horse! I don't know why, I like it. It's cool. Anyway, so I get out of my maths exam today, I'm talking to my teacher. She's like, "How'd you go, Naja?" I'm like, "Yeah, good, blah, blah, we're talking about some of the answers and whatever." She's like, "Wow, Naja, like, I'm impressed." I was like, "Miss, you're actually the biggest dog." But, but I said it like, I put a lot of emphasis on the word dog. So the way it came out was like, "Miss, you're actually the biggest dog." I didn't mean it like that though. I meant like, "Hey, big dog." Anyway, she was like, "I'm the biggest dog?" Like, I had to backtrack. I was like, no, it's like big dog. Like, "Oh, you're a big dog." She's like, "Okay."
What has someone said to you that will stick with you forever?
Okay, this is the difference. This is the difference between Aussies and Wogs right here, right? Aussies will reply to this and they go, "Oh my god, like the sunflower faces the sun for, I don't know why it does it," right? Me, what comes in my head straight away was if I was a kid and I got told not to do something, I went and done it and I got hurt, and I came crying to my parents, "Did you ever cry like that?" That's when it hurt really bad, yeah? So I'd go to my parents and they'd go, "Come here, come closer so I can give you something to cry about." Where? What logic is that? The Wog logic on that is horrendous. What planet is that normal? I'm hurt, check on me, bro. Nah, fuck, come here so I can flog you more. Brother, those tears from that point, the first time I did that, those tears, I didn't cry anymore. They didn't roll down my face. I sucked them up. I was like, fuck that, bro. I'm not getting beaten again. No way. You're dreaming. You, my friend, dreaming. You're watching your eyelids. That's what that is.
According to Australian legend, the yowie is a tall creature covered in thick, brown fur that wanders the Australian bushland. It is camera shy and occasionally quite violent. Does that sound familiar to anybody else? One early and prominent encounter with the yowie takes place in 1878, and it has Pat Ring, a shepherd, camping out with his two dogs. It's the middle of the night and his two animals start getting really agitated and they dart off into the night, barking at something. Pat follows and arrives at a ravine. Before his two dogs, Pat sees a dark shape that lets out this guttural roar, scaring one of his animals away, but the second animal doesn't back down. Instead, it lunges at the shape, but it gets caught in midair and then hurled over 30 yards away into a pile of rocks. The dog goes to attack the creature a second time, but the same thing happens, only this time the dog struggles to get up. Fearing for his animal and his own life, Pat picks up the heaviest stone he can and hurls it at the monster. The stone collides with the creature's head, but it doesn't die. It doesn't even stop. It just looks at him and charges, monkey climbing up the cliff. Pat turns tail and runs, and he swears you can hear it chasing him back to town. Like for part 2.
Oh my god, hi Michael. Do you need a pen? Yeah, you can just have my whole pencil case. Michael looks like really good today. Hey Michael, do you want to sit next to me on the bus this afternoon? Yeah Michael, I know where you live. I walk past your house all the time. Literally, me and Michael were play fighting the other day and he shoved me. Michael is not dating Jenna, and if he is, I'll bash her. Bye Michael.
I went to a childcare and got employed by a guy who got done for being a pedophile. There's the article. You can go and look it up. And I have some stories, not about getting touched. I have some stories about just my experiences working with kids. Because you look at me, you think, he doesn't work with kids. I used to. I'm a high school teacher. I was a high school teacher. Not because something happened, but I decided this is better. But when the pedo guy employed me at this childcare center, I remember one time there was this girl, she had Down syndrome, and she was being real ratty. I dropped her thing. I broke it. She'd made a thing and I dropped it, and then she was really upset about it. It was an accident. I didn't mean to drop it. And I said to her, "Hey, stop being such a Debbie Downer," which is a saying that my mum would always throw on me. And I'm just lucky she was like 7.
Fast food workers, what is something you do at your job that you know could get you in trouble, but you still do it?
Fuck, and this takes me back 15 years ago. I'm now 30, so I was 15 at the time. Quick maths. I had my first job in a fast food place called Hungry Jack's. You may have heard of him. So I never actually messed with anybody's food orders. That was just wrong. I didn't see the point. But after we closed the store, we would fuck around and have some massive food fights. We would get the leftover tomatoes and just chuck them at each other like full pelt, you know? And then fucking leftover fries, just sting them at each other as hard as we could. The one time some of our mates came through the drive-thru to try and score some free food right at the end, someone had a whole cup of shake without the lid open, just ready for a fucking send. So the car window halfway down, someone chucks this shake cup perfectly upright and it hits the lip of the window and then squirts it all inside the interior of the car. Fuck, it was funny. Absolute madness.